All right, today we are going to be talking about what is called the 5D process. Sometimes what this is referred to as it's kind of an organized manner of doing guess and check work for algebra. Now, we don't really like guess and check for algebra, but it is an important first step to learn before you learn how the algebraic systems work to solve these problems for you even easier. So, first problem we're going to look at here is, there it is, solving a word problem. Have you seen that blah, 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 blah? Don't worry about that. I'm going to jump right here. 365. Fencing the basketball court. The parent club at Post Falls Middle School needs 180 feet of fencing to go around a rectangular basketball court behind the gym. So our answer is that we need 183 feet. I have that right here for you. They will only need to place a fence on three sides. You can see one side is here, one side is here, and one side is up here. The school building or the gym or whatever this is called right there takes up the other side. And I think they explained this too. The gym will be the fourth side. The length of the court is 32 feet, which means this side here, the length of this, is 32 feet. One of the shorter sides will be 5 feet shorter than the other one to leave room for the gate. So you've got this width here, which we don't know what that is. And we have this one here, which again, we don't know what that is, except that because of this gate right here, it's 5 feet shorter than this side up here. Hopefully that makes sense. Now, here's kind of how we take a look at this. Side 1, I called side 1 the width over here. It's the unknown length of what we don't know. We really don't know anything about that side. Side 2, I'm calling the length because I know a little bit of information about this length. We know that this length here, as it says right here, the length of the court is 32 feet more than the width. So we don't know what this width is over here, but we know that this at least is 32 feet more than this width. So we can write that as being W plus 32, or the length is the width plus 32. Side 3, which is over here, we know a little bit of information about this. We know that because of this gate right here, that this one is 5 feet shorter than the other side. So we can write that as the width, this width over here, minus 5 feet to leave room for the gate. Hopefully that all makes sense. Okay? So now, what we need to do is we need to figure out what are the lengths of all of these sides that total up to 183. You might notice that how I've put this together is a nice, neat, organized fashion. Right here is what we're defining. We're defining the three sides of this. If I had 5 basketball players on a team and we had to figure out baskets, I wouldn't have 3 columns here, I would have 5 columns here. If I just needed to know the length of 2 consecutive numbers, I wouldn't have 3 here, I'd have 2 here. But for our case, because I need 3 sides of fencing, I need 3 columns. I need column 1 here, column 2 here, column 3 here. But all of these are defining our issue or our problem up here. Second is do the work. Okay, we're going to do some mathematical computation. Third is we answer, is that the right answer? Yes or no? And then we decide, is it too high or too low or just right? So let's pick a number and try something here. First number we're going to try is a width of 15. I'm just picking that out of the air. 15, well, 15 plus 32 is 47, and 15 minus 5 is 10. When I take 15, I add that to 47 and add that to 10 to get the perimeter of this, which is how much fencing you would need. The fencing covers the perimeter. That would equal 72 feet. Holy cow, that's way too low. So I need to pick a bigger number. So let's pick a bigger number here. Let's say we want to pick a number like 24. 24 is bigger. 24 plus 32 is 56. And 24 minus 5 is 19. So if we add up those 3 sides, 24 and 56 is 80. 80 plus 19 is 99. Wow, we're still considerably too low. So I think I should pick a bigger number, and I think I should make it a lot bigger this time. So let's try that. So let's pick 40. Hopefully that'll get us much closer. 40 plus 32 is 72, and 40 minus 5 is 35. Let's add those up. 40. 112, 147. Holy cow, I'm still too low. All right, well, let's go a lot bigger again. 60. So 60. 60 plus 32 is 92. 60 minus 5 is 55. When I add those up, well, at least I got too high this time. I guess we know it's smaller than 60. We know it's bigger than 40, so I got to pick some number in the middle of those two. But hopefully that makes sense how I'm getting bigger and bigger here. Let's see if my next guess can be a little bigger, or a little better. 55. 55 plus 32 is 87. 55 minus 5 is 50. When I add those up, I get to 192. Ooh, I'm getting much closer now. I see the page comes to an end, so I bet my next guess will be pretty good. 52. 52 plus 32 is 84. 52 minus 5 is 47. When I add those up, 136. 136 plus 47 is 183. Yay! We got our right answer. Do you see how this can get a little messy? You're trying a lot of different things to get the answer. Wouldn't it be nice if there was a nice, short, algebraic way of doing this? Well, there is, but I'm not teaching you that yet. We're going to learn this process, we're going to understand this process, and then I'll teach you the algebraic way, because I think you'll appreciate it a lot more at that point, and I think it'll make more sense to you. So let's try one more problem here using the 5D process. I'm going right here to letter A. So we're on problem 70, letter A. Laura takes very good care of her vehicles. She owns a blue van. This one over here is a blue van and a red truck. I know they don't look blue and red, but they are. Although she bought them both new, she has owned the truck for 17 years longer than the van. So that means she bought the truck new, but she bought that a long time ago. And then she bought the van new. This truck is 17 years older than that van. Now she's had both of them for a little while. The sum of their ages, when I add up how old this truck is and I add up how old this car is, the sum of their age, sum means to add, is 41 years old. So the answer up here is going to be 41 years old. You notice that I need two things, a van and a truck. So I have two columns here. Remember in the last one we had three columns here? The three columns being the width of the sides of the fences. Well, in this one, we only have a van and a truck, so I only need two columns here. I do not know how old the van is, and I know nothing about the van, so I put that as my first one. I know a little bit of information about the truck. The information I know is that the truck is 17 years older than the van. So I need to figure out what the van is, add 17 to it, and that's how old the truck is. Does that make sense? I hope so. If not, rewind and learn again. So let's make a guess here on the van. Let's pretend the van is 17 years old, because this is the most common mistake answer I get from all my students every year. So if the van is 17 years old, and I take 17 years for the van and I add 17 more years for the truck, 17 plus 17 is 34, and I add 17 plus 34 together, I get 51, not 41, 51, which is a little too high. So my van isn't 17 years old, it's a little younger than that. So we'll pick a new number. Let's try 13. 13 plus 17 is 30. When I take the 30 years and 13 years and I add those together, I get 43. Oh, I'm very close, but I'm just a little too high. So let's pick a new one. Come on, pull up. There we go. Because that was just a little bit too high, I'm only going to go down one. 12. 12 plus 17 is 29. When I take the 12 and I add that to the 29, I get 41. Yay, that's my answer. So this one, instead of taking 6 or 7 steps like the first one did, this one only took 3 steps. I was a better guesser this time. This is what you're going to be doing whenever you need to set up the 5D process. You're going to be setting up these columns where you define your work here and break them into however many columns you need. You do your work here, you show your work what it is you were adding together. You get your answer. And make sure you put your goal answer at the top, and then you just decide, was it too high, too low, or just right? So that is what you're going to be doing. Tomorrow when you come to class, you're going to be doing your in-class assignment where you have to do 1 or 2 of these kind of problems. Hope that makes sense. Bye-bye.